Sure. Thank you very much. Had good work this morning on a very good LSU team. Look forward to heading down to Baton Rouge and playing in one of the great venues in college football. We got word from the NCAA this morning that Jalen Brooks would be immediately eligible. Jalen's worked extremely hard. Really excited for him. I appreciate the NCAA's decision. I want to really thank Ray Tanner, Jeff Whitehead, and Chance Miller on the job that they did for us and working to continue to get the information the NCAA needed in order to make him eligible. So I'm really happy for this young man. He's worked extremely hard. He's never complained. We're doing so much good work right now. He's been with our offense a lot. So we expect him to contribute on Saturday. I'll open up for any questions.
We'll begin with Josh Kendall of The Athletic.
Will, Jalen was my question, specifically how much you had kept him in the game preparation without knowing the first month that he was going to be available.
We're really only doing right now, Josh, we're down to about two scout periods. We've extended our walkthroughs pre-practice to about 20 to 25 minutes to get the scout looks that we need, and then we're only doing about 2 scout periods on field. Other than that, we're good on good. I mean, we're trying to get the best looks we can get that we're going to see on Saturday, but we're going good on good to continue to develop the roster. So he's been with our offense a lot, so he'll be fine. He's very bright, and so he can handle multiple positions as well.
Is there a chance he would start? Is he that caught up?
No, we haven't. We just got off the practice field. I was with the defense all day today, so I don't even know how things went other than that. So we'll go back and look at it.
Thank you.
Next is David Connor with the Post-Courier.
Hey, Will, also with a Jalen question, just what can his length and athleticism bring to this wide receiver room?
Well, again, he's a guy that can stretch the field. In our camp, he's one of the faster guys that we have on our team. He can really run on the top end and finish down the field. He's got good ball skills. Again, he's, like I said before, he's very bright, so he can learn multiple spots. He can play inside and he can play outside. So he gives us a lot of variety as far as different stuff he's going to help. He's going to bring to the table and help us.
And also, did Cam Smith and Aaron Sterling practice today?
Aaron did. Cam did not. I would say Cam's probably doubtful for this weekend, but we still have some time to see if we can't get him out and move him around a little bit more. He moved around. He just didn't do much with us. Was more with the training staff.
Thanks.
This is Hale McGranahan of the Big Spur.
And one more on Jalen, Coach. It seemed like from the video that you guys put out with the announcement that he was eligible that all the guys on the team were really excited for him. If you could just kind of speak to how he's been able to integrate himself into the locker room these last couple months or so.
Well, I think that in having transfers come in, and obviously the climate in college athletics is changing drastically. So, my advice for any young man that comes into a new locker room and is transferring in is be humble and prove your worth and earn your keep around here with what you do on the field, not with your mouth, and that's what Jalen's done. And you look at Colin Hill, you look at Adam Prentice, Nick Muse. I mean, all of these guys have come in and worked extremely hard and let their play speak for the type player they are, and that's what wins over your teammates. And all of those guys, including Jalen, have come in and worked extremely hard, have competed their butt off, have earned everything that they've gotten around here. And you earn the respect of your teammates. But, we got a close team. This team is hanging together, and they're happy for each other when they have success, whether it's on the other side of the ball, whether it's the same position, or whatever the case may be. And it's something it's fun to watch.
Do you think the closeness of the team is a result of all the stuff that they've had to kind of deal with over these last several months this year? Or is it
Well, I don't think there's any question, and I think other coaches would probably tell you the same thing. These guys have been through a lot, as far as, you look at the dead time when we brought them back on campus in June, because, whether it was maybe an hour position meeting on Zoom, these guys were working out for an hour, hour and a half, whatever time period they were in the weight room. We couldn't have any contact with them during the month of June, not till July 13th. They're just spending time with each other. And so you spend that kind of time with somebody, you're going to continue to grow and be close to them. And there was no class, there was no social going on. I mean, that was just being with each other. And so I've certainly seen that bond's pretty strong right now.
Next is Scott Ravelow, the Baton Rouge Advocate.
Hey, Will, how are you today?
Scott, how's it going, man?
Oh, it's going okay. Hey, as a defensive coach, I'm sure you heard about the quarterback situation at LSU. And just how do you prepare for a complete unknown? You don't know who they're going to play Saturday. I mean, you figure I'm sure they can't completely revamp their offense. And also, having experienced Tiger Stadium as a coach here and as a head coach before, it's going to be very strange. But I guess you guys are used to different venues and not looking like what they usually do so far this season.
Well, no doubt. I mean, I'll answer your first question about the quarterback situation. They've been very successful offensively. You go back to last year. Obviously, they've got some new faces in some different spots. And Miles Brennan in 3 games has done 11 touchdown passes. They're averaging right at 40 points a game. They're averaging, close to 400 yards passing a game. They've been able to move the ball on the ground when they've wanted to. They're averaging close to 500 yards a game. So they've been very successful. I don't know why anybody would change anything. And they have 2 young quarterbacks in Finley and Johnson that they're both, really excited about. Steve Ensminger and Scott Linehan, as well as a quarterback coach. Those guys have coached quarterbacks for a long time, and they know how to get a young guy ready to play, and we're going to play to his strengths. And if it's the young guy, then we're going to do things that they feel comfortable with. And the big thing to me is the guys you got around them. When you got a guy like Terrence Marshall and you got a guy like Gilbert and you got a good offensive front and some really good backs, which they have, they're not as concerned about a young player going into a situation. Those guys around them need to raise their levels to play well. So I don't know schematically that there'll be a whole lot of change of what they are and who they are. That's what they've been. They've been successful with, and that's what we plan on seeing. As far as the stadium, it is different. Going down to the Swamp was different. As far as just the volume of the game was much different. Being in the stadium, it certainly would be a very different Saturday night in Tiger Stadium.
Next is Jeff Duncan of The Athletic.
Hey, Will, you've been around and coached a lot of talented cornerbacks in your career. How does J.C. Horn compare to some of the best ones you've had?
Well, again, I hate comparing guys because everybody's a little different, but J.C. is a very, very competitive young man. He has a high level of competition. He likes to compete at the highest level. He wants to be on the best every week. He's got great length. As far as being able to get his hands on people on the line of scrimmage, he disrupts the timing of routes. He's got long speed to finish down the field. I've always said he's had ball skills, and everybody questioned me till Saturday that he has ball skills to finish, ball judgment to finish balls down the field on the 50-50 balls. He has really good instincts in man and zone coverage. I think he's a very well-rounded player. I think he's an elite corner. And there's no doubt about that, in my opinion. But he certainly is as good as I've been around.
Will, his dad was a really flamboyant player down here with the Saints.
Yeah.
How would you describe JC, like his personality and demeanor?
Off the field, in my opinion, JC is a very quiet young man, polite, humble. And when he gets on the field, when he walks between the white lines, he's got a competitive edge about himself now. And he competes, and I think a very emotional and a very positive way. In my opinion, I think he positively affects his teammates in a wonderful way. So I think he's a great teammate and a guy that I'm glad he's a Gamecock. I can assure you that. I mean, he just, it's hard to coach a guy to be competitive. It's hard to coach a guy to compete. And that's something that comes from within, and that's something obviously, he's been very talented in that category.
Great. Thanks, Coach.
Next is Ben Brainer of the State newspaper.
Hey, Will, I know you mentioned that you guys didn't do a ton of scout team stuff, but I wanted to ask, in practice, how much did Jalen and JC end up matching up together? And what could you kind of learn about Jalen from having to go against a guy like JC in practice?
Well, we don't really match up as far as we would necessarily in a game situation. We do practice the game plan stuff, and we're going against good on good stuff. Sometimes that happens, but they've had some good battles. Off the top of my head, I think Jalen's a guy that, as far as Jalen's attributes are concerned, he can win in man coverage. He's a guy that can get on top of the coverage in man coverage, and he can finish down the field. And if you just had to ask me what are the important qualities of any good receiver in our league and moving on forward when you get in the National Football League, you got to win versus man coverage. You can't win versus man coverage, you're going to struggle to ever play. And I feel strong that Jalen can win in man.
All right, thanks, Will.
Next, Bob Holton, the Arkansas Democrat-Gazette.
Hey, Will. Ed's not ruling out Miles Brennan, but he's saying he doesn't think right now he's going to play. I mean, is that just kind of a guessing game, or do you guys prep as if you're going to see, their starter, and then you react if they don't? How do you handle that?
Well, I just don't think from a skill set standpoint there's a lot difference between any of the three quarterbacks. Obviously, Miles has the experience, and the two young guys are really good players that we think are very talented, and we've watched all of their high school tape. So, I think it goes back to schematically. There's not going to be an overhaul or change of who they are or what they do. It's not like they're going to just change, offensively. They've been very successful offensively. You go back to last year, and then you go back to the 3 games this year. They've been extremely productive. I mean, the numbers speak for themselves as far as what they're accomplishing offensively. So we're not planning on a wholesale change of what they do offensively.
Thanks.
Sure.
Next is Mark Weiser, the Athens Better-Herald.
Hey, Will. Dan Mullen was on earlier, said he suspected that traveling to a game at Texas A&M may have led to their COVID outbreak. What are some of the most significant steps you all take on these road trips to try and keep you and your players' staff as safe as possible?
Yeah, Mark, we are, as far as the food is concerned, only our nutrition staff is handling the food, and our training staff. We don't let anyone handle anything food-wise for us outside of the serving and when they serve and different things. We're social distancing in the hotel as far as our meetings are concerned, our walkthroughs are concerned, our meals are concerned, and then requiring a certain disinfectant in all the rooms that our players are going into. We're social distancing on the plane. We've got I think it's 175 or 180 seat plane, and our travel party is really only our players and our essential staff that we need to have travel. No one else is traveling with us. Normally we have administrators and different people and some boosters travel. Nobody else is traveling with us, so we can remain social distance on the plane as best as we can. So those, buses, we've got 2 more buses than we normally have, so we can spread out on the buses and social distance in the bus. We're requiring everybody to wear a mask everywhere they go and what they do. So just the normal protocols we really have in our building every day. We're just trying to take them on the road, and it is a little unusual. Speaking for Athens, some of the visitors' locker rooms are not exactly the finest accommodations in the country in the Southeastern Conference.
Yeah.
Maybe we ought to look at that as a league and actually have a little better situation to walk into. And the one we're going to this weekend ain't worth a damn either. So they've not really worried about how the visitors are. Our visitor locker room here is really nice, actually. You could spread out and have a nice time in there, but some of these locker rooms you go into aren't exactly the Hilton. I can assure you of that.